Facebook has been one of the institutions that has gone the hardest at attacking fake news, which means things that they and the largely, not completely, but largely the Democratic Party disagree with. I mean, there's no denying that there is a liberal bias within Facebook. I mean, that is there. You know, Mark Zuckerberg supports the Democratic Party, so that whole thing is there. But what's important is that it's not just conservative voices that are being silenced. It is anti-war voices, anti-capitalist voices, anti-imperialist voices that are being silenced. And that's what's really important in this situation. Well, now it appears that Facebook has been carrying out its own fake news. A New York Times report that was published on Wednesday revealed that Facebook hired a PR firm to smear critics on rival tech companies, Apple and Google. That's right. Facebook paid a PR firm to attack Apple and Google for criticizing them for their censorship of dissenting voices. Now, these pieces were published on the ntknetwork.com, a site run by the firm that masqueraded as a real news site. In other words, a fake news site was being run by Facebook that was being used to slander people that disagreed with Mark Zuckerberg and no doubt the upper echelon of Facebook. Now, NBC jumped on board the story with a former employee of the firm calling the NTK network our in-house fake news shop. Of course, Facebook has to respond to something like this, and their response to being exposed for having produced fake news was to call it fake news. I mean, that's just perfect. And it's absolutely like one of the funniest things that I've heard in a long time. Now, Mark Zuckerberg came out and said that he had no idea that this was happening. The connection to what's called definers. Now, he said he was unaware of Facebook's relationship with definers, despite the fact that the company's statement said that the relationship was well known by the media. So the media, the relationship between definers and Facebook was well known by the media, but apparently Mark Zuckerberg didn't know what was going on in his own company. Yeah, really believable there, Zuck. Now, the company, according to the report, according to the documents, the company instructed the definers to circulate material linking some anti-Facebook activists to billionaire liberal financier George Soros, because he had been a vocal critic of Facebook, because the interests that are carried out by Facebook are not necessarily the same as those that are advocated by George Soros. So, essentially, what has happened is, if you disagree with Facebook, all of a sudden, just completely out of the blue, you're down with George Soros. And that's exactly the connection that was being made. And that's how Zuck acts. I mean, it's not just bad enough that he bans you over, little things, but it's another to go around slandering people, paying to have fake news produced, then calling it fake news, and linking anybody who disagrees with you, even criticizes you, as being connected to George Soros. It's amazing how much the right has in connection with the liberal, and I'm deliberately excluding the word left here, because he's not left, he's liberal. How much the right has a connection, I mean, not a connection, but a similarity to liberal Mark Zuckerberg. Everything is George Soros, no matter what, regardless of anything making any sense. Essentially, the idea was to insinuate that the wealthy Jewish donor was controlling its opposition, and secondly, for hypocrisy of accusing the same opposition of anti-Semitism at the same time. So he kind of hinted, oh, those talking about against Facebook? You're an anti-Semite. Also, people who disagree with me are an anti-Semite. And if you're against George Soros, you're also an anti-Semite. So, yeah, it's kind of a really weird thing Zuck's got going here. But it's very interesting to see that despite all of his shooting his mouth off about how he was going to fight the fake news and Russia did this, Russia did that, cough, cough, no evidence, what did we get? We got Zuck creating the fake news himself while claiming to be a pioneer and a crusader against it. So, Zuck, you have been caught. You are fake. Your organization has been exposed for being a bunch of liars and frankly, pushing anti-Semitic ideas.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.